He also says, the Ronald McDonald of Microsoft. Wow, Wombat is calling out Larry Herb.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Herb?
I thought it was Frib.
No, it's Herb.
Herb?
I don't know. I listened to Major Nelson's show, and I just wanted to make a couple of comments. First, he works on the Xbox Live team. Second, Microsoft does not finance his podcast in any way. He says he pays for the website and all the equipment that he uses to produce the Major Nelson himself. Now, with his position within Microsoft, it allows him access to personnel and games within Microsoft that probably help out his podcast quite a bit. I think sometimes he spins things that are on the Xbox console to be a little better than they really are, but for the most part, I enjoy his podcast. So that was pretty controversial, Wombat. You called Major Nelson Ronald McDonald. He said he was the Ronald McDonald of Microsoft.
I stand by that comment.
Do you really?
Yes, I really do.
I don't know. I have to disagree. I mean,
really, I mean, he basically talks about Microsoft. He's selling the Microsoft product in his podcast.
That's true. He is, but
he
does work for Microsoft.
Exactly.
Okay,
and what does Ronald McDonald do? Ronald McDonald sells hamburgers for McDonald's. Major Nelson sells crappy billiards games for Xbox.
I've heard him be not so kind to some games. I mean, I'm not a weekly listener to his show, but I'm maybe once a month I listen, depending if it sounds interesting.
And I happen to like the billiards game. I shouldn't be knocking it.
Yeah, don't bring the billiards game into it. Come on, man.
What did that ever do to me? But no, I mean, his podcast is to highlight products that are coming out for the company that he works for. That would make it an infomercial.
I don't know. I think we need to have him on the show.
I would love to have him on the show and let him tell me why I'm wrong or tell me why I'm right. And there's nothing wrong with him doing this, by the way. It's not an insult.
Right. No, he does work for Microsoft. He gets paid. But I think the point is he's not getting paid to do this podcast. He's the director of content for Xbox Live. He's not on the marketing team. It's not his job to make a podcast
I don't think it hurts his job.
Well, we'll have to ask him about it. Maybe you should call him Major McNelson.
Or instead of the way I do it, I send it to you in IMs where I change the M and MAJ to a V.
I don't get it. What?
You have to write it down.
Vagina?
Instead of MAJ dot Nelson, I write down VAJ dot Nelson.
No, you don't.
Because then it's Vag Nelson.
Yeah, you've never done that. Anyway, this is not helping us get him as a potential guest.
I did that
show.
To you last week.
Yeah.
You mean calling him a vagina won't get him on the show?
No, I don't think so.
I don't understand. What else do I have to do? First, I called him a clown. Then I called him a vagina. I don't know what the next step is.
All right. Anyway, some comments about that. Elf Angel 7 says, I was having a crappy day when I heard Wombat call Major Nelson Ronald McDonald with a podcast. Thanks for making my day a bit better. And Johnny Flash says, I love Wombat's description of Major Nelson as the Ronald McDonald of Xbox Live. I've been thinking of that whenever I listen to any official podcast this past week. I especially like thinking of Dr. Tony Phillips, who does podcasts and other press for NASA, as the Ronald McDonald of NASA.
There you go. Now it's official. Major Nelson, the vagina clown of the internet.
Stop it. You're killing us. Literally.